So, I'd like to begin by thanking you for purchasing one of my Alaska custom beavers snap together kit. I'm going to show you today what I think is the best way of putting these together. So, I've got a little bit of a head start on this, and I wanted to show you that popping these parts out, you got to take some time and really do a good job finding the spots that have to get popped out that aren't cut all the way through, using an X-Acto knife or a utility knife. Just find those parts, do a good job, and making sure that they're going to come out. There we go. So, in each kit, it comes with a set of directions, and we're going to start with step number one. My hope is that you can get a look at this video, and then these directions will make sense a little bit better. So anyhow, step one, you got to find parts A and B, 1, A and B, and part number 2. We're going to put those together up here on the front. Okay. There's step 1. Step number 2 is to find part number 3. Part number 3 goes in and holds everything together up there on the front. Our motor mount is pointed to the right. Okay, you get that in. Find part number 4, and we're going to attach that back here. And something that may be a little easier, sometimes part number 5, A and B, if you can get those in before you put number 4 in place, it's sometimes easier. Okay, you slip these in, making sure they're all the way down, and then slide them forward. Okay, that locks all that into place. This is going to come into play here real shortly when we get to the next step. So we're going to put this in here. Okay, pinch this together in the back a little bit. Hit that locking tab. Catch this locking tab on this side. Okay, and press everything together. Alright, that's step 4. Step 5, we want to get part number 6. That's this one. I like to have our tail feathers down, so when I display my beaver, you can see it when it's hanging up. I like to display them hanging up, so then you can see it. Okay, this has to go all the way forward. It's a tight fit that ties everything together. And if it's not all the way up, part number 7, is that what we're looking for? Part number 7 will not fit if that's not pushed all the way forward. Okay, find part number 7. That's going to go in that little hole in the tail. Okay, once that goes in, like I said, it's got to be all the way tight. And that one goes in. Come on, baby. There it is. Okay, don't force it. It'll go. Okay, that's number 6. Now we're going to set that aside for a minute, and we're going to go to our mortar and cowling assembly. Okay, and this is probably the most confusing part of all of it, and maybe it would be best if I turn these around for you to see, so it gives you an idea Same way the directions are put together. Okay, we're going to find our cowling housing and our motor. Okay, before we can put all this together, we're going to put our propeller together. Real simple, starting with the bolt and washer, and then we're looking at what is it, P5, P4, the propeller itself, which is P3, P2, P1, all go into the motor, and a locking nut on this end. Okay, you zip that together, and now you have the two of them. I'm not going to tighten this quite yet, but I'm going to show you. We get to our cowling housing, and we got a TDC, which is your top dead center, and your bottom dead center. Pretty important stuff for what we're doing. And we're going to start with the top dead center, and our top dead center of our what do we call those? Our C cowling pieces. So top dead center, we're going to stick it on. Okay, and then our bottom dead center is over here. It's going to go on. Top dead center on our motor pieces has the two dots. I don't know if you can see those, but they go there and slips in to this piece. Okay, these are pretty tight fit, so you're going to want to use a little bit of pressure. Okay, and then you just build these around. Your darker pieces are going to be your number 3, and your number 9s. And you can put that together, and when it gets done, it looks like this. We got our propeller, our cowling assembly, bottom dead center, top dead center, and we're now on to step number 9, where we put this up against here, slip this one into our top dead center hole, and we're going to slide to the left until it is centered on our assembly here. Okay, so looking good, and we're going to the second side of our instructions. Okay, from here, this is where we put in a windshield, which I don't see right handy, but I got one. So it goes into this notch and into the grooves. If you want to put a piece of or a couple drops of glue on there, that's great, but for the most part it locks in there and you shouldn't have to worry about it. Our next step is part number 8, which is our wing. Okay, the wing is equipped with these grooves for hanging when we go to hang your beaver. Once you have it all completed, to put a fishing line on there, you can put a knot on one side or the other, adjust your pitch, your tilt, and makes for kind of some fun here. So anyhow, this one's got some knots on it, so I'm definitely gonna put this up and have the flaps down. Okay, so this is gonna lay right over this. A little bit of pressure, pushing it on. Okay, I get it down and slide it back. Slide that back, and as you can see, it's locked in the windshield, and we should be good there. Okay. Our next step is we're going to start moving towards our floats and hooking up our struts. But we're going to find pieces T1 and T2. There's quite a few of them here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these since we're past that. And where are we at? Okay, so T1. Everything has to line up here, so we've got to make sure that's pushed up tight. And that's going to wiggle on in there and snap right in. Next hole, same thing. Okay, hole number 3. This is going to be the support for our wing strut. So, making sure that's in hole number 3. Hole number 4 is going to take part T2 again. Just push those in nice and tight. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Slip those in. Same thing. Part T2 has to be in that number 3 hole. Press it in and slip it in. Okay, so we got that. We're now going to move on to parts 10 and 11. And these are not necessarily reversible. So the narrow ones are going to go up towards the front, and that would be part 10. And when you do put it on, you need to make sure that your float mounting tabs are pointing back towards each other. So that's going to go on there. Okay, a little bit of force. We're not going to get carried away with it. Part 11, again, making sure that the mounting tabs are facing each other. Okay, mounting tabs facing each other. I'll show you why here shortly. Go back, put part number 11 on. And hook up part number 10. Okay, so that's that. And we're going to move on to our float assembly. I'm going to set that aside for a minute and bring in a float. Okay, so we're going to find parts 3, 4, and 7. And let me back up. We're going to find parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to get them all laid out here. This needs to go this way. Everything's upside down here. So, and what are we calling this? This is part F1. F1 has this little tab on the top of it that's going to go right in that center hole. Okay. And the way I like to do this, believe that it is the easiest, is you take your narrow one of the two, which we called part F3, and put it in there. F4 goes in the top. Okay, then we find our parts number F7, and we're going to hook these up. And these have a little bit of a trick to them, but patience and just being a little careful, not getting in a hurry. So, okay, so that's going to slip in there. I'm going to get this back in that little tab, and everything lines up. Just takes a little bit of doing, being careful. Okay, you set that down. I don't know if you can see what we got there for sure, but it's all put in. Okay, we got these little tabs on the sides. I do recommend that you would put a little drop of glue on each side of this. One there, and a drop of glue there, a drop of glue right in that little notch, and that little notch, and on the back as well. But for the demonstration, I'm just putting these together, show you how it works. Okay, so we're going to put that side in. Come over here, slip that into that notch. Now we can come up and set these in. A little bit of force to get those to click in. Okay, same thing on the back. You might have to lift it just a little bit. Press that in, and again, with a little bit of glue, you'd be golden, and everything's locked together. There's our first float. I'm going to put another one together for you right quick. Probably should have had this part done already. But these parts, F7, are reversible, and you can use them on front and back. Okay, that's got that. It's just going to go here, lining that up, bringing this over, lining that up as well, pinching those in. You might have to slide that forward just a hair. Okay, and I'm not sanding any of these parts. It's always good to sand them a little bit and cleaning them up. So, okay, so we got our two floats put together, and then we're going to find, what do they call this? Part number F8. So part F8 is going to slip into these receiving holes. Okay, a little bit of pressure, a little wiggle, and slide those in. Okay, here again, I would recommend a tiny drop of glue, maybe right there on top of the float. So when this comes over, it will catch that glue and won't come loose. So there's those two. I'm just wiggling with a little bit of pressure on it, slipping it in. There's really only one way these will go in. And there's pictures on the directions to make that easier. Okay, so we got those on. We're now going to find parts F9, A and B, which are these two pieces. Here again, a little bit of glue for a permanent construction. But for what we're doing, this works, and it will assemble and hang around for a while without any glue at all. Okay, so now we have those put together. Our floats are assembled. I'm going to try turning it this way for you. Hopefully you can see. We're going to grab the Beaver, starting in the back. We're going to, let's see, if we can put that tab in there. And slip that tab in. Come on, baby. That tab's going to go in there. I'll pull forward. Carefully. Okay. And we got that. Come back to this side. Same thing. And the hook A in the front. And bring that around and pop that in. Okay. So, we got our floats assembled. Everything's looking good. It's tied together, and I recommend setting the Beaver upside down. Okay, at this point you can slide the what do they call these, T1 and 2, slide these out a little ways, and a drop of glue right on the ends of those, and then slipping them back in and holding them tight for a few seconds. Keeps it all together, and you got it permanently put together. Okay, we're going to find part 9, which is this little guy, and slip him up into the wing. Okay, and then we're going to find part S1. S1 is going to hook into part number T2. I don't know if you can see that or not. T2 is going to go into here. And Little bit of pressure and into the hole of part number 9. Okay, repeat the same process over on this side. Part number 9 goes in the top, and S1 will hook into here and into the strut receiver. Strut receiver, that's what that is. Alright, so we're looking pretty good. We're just about there. Couple final deals. We're going to call this part number 10 and 11. Actually, these are 11. Part number 11 go on the wings. Okay. It's always look good. And part number 10 is our float rudders, and they're gonna go right in there and over on this side. A little bit of pressure, and you're on. So there it is, your Alaskan Beaver. It's totally customizable. If you're looking for another one with a different logo on the side, I'm going to give you some information on how you can get a hold of me. I hope this helped. Let me know. Thank you.